trying to get rid of the resting bitch face that happens because like this thing sneaks up on you. It's like, yeah, we're going live, and
I know. Well,
know.
you add my Bell's palsy, so I have a really good resting bitch face.
Oh, my fucking resting bitch face is epic, and I don't even care anymore.
Be you, girl.
Oh my god. It is a crazy night up on you. Like, oh, there it is. All right, hold on 1 second. Yeah, we're going live. Okay.
Is it doing?
Oh yeah. Hey everybody out there. Welcome to the episode, another episode of Whatever Comes to Mind. I am one of your hosts, KSilyDD. Black and Rowdy could not get on Zoom today. So love you too, Victoria. So we're just gonna go on without her until she can get on. But I do have another one of our co-hosts, Mr. Ken, who's
coming
from us.
Come on, sweet girl.
Yeah, so we were just talking about, so this is Whatever Comes to Mind. So we're gonna talk about literally whatever comes to mind. So whatever's gonna come out, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
So you were just telling me that you want to come to New York on vacation. And when did you want to come? In July?
July, the 16th to the 20th or to the 21st. Kim comes back to Texas on the 21st. So I was thinking about flying back at the same time, but I'm just kind of, Southwest Delta is the same price right now. So I'd rather get my miles on Delta.
How much is it costing for you to get a ticket?
$250
each?
Yes, round trip.
I'm thinking about booking, like, I'm thinking of just going like all optimistic about this and just actually like planning my 40th birthday.
In 12 years,
okay. 40. My 40th birthday trip, I wanted to go to either Punta Cana, I wanted to go to Puerto Rico, I wanted to go somewhere where I could have a good time. And I don't know, but I definitely wanted to go away for my birthday. Let's see if Kim can get in now. We'll try.
There you go.
I see her, but I don't see her.
Well, her picture. Yeah.
But she's not there.
Yeah.
Yay!
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me though?
We can hear you.
Okay, because that was the issue.
What's up with that?
There's our Black and Rowdy Central Park girl.
Oh boy.
Central Park. Look at that apartment.
Right?
No, get up and show me a tour of the apartment. Get up.
Oh, why? So some stalker could like know where I live.
Right.
Yes.
In fact, let me put on the background. Like
background. Just in the background. You're crazy.
We were about July, Kim, trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Are we all drinking?
Are we all drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking.
So, hold on, let me
Actually,
let me
I'm tasting it. I've got wine and a grape water.
Okay.
I don't know how you drink wine without passing out. As soon as I drink wine, I'm ready to just like pass out. That's cool. But I can still see your bedroom. I can see right into your bedroom. Yeah, because your door is open.
Yes,
yeah.
there is. No.
Oh my God, who's that? I'm just kidding. Oh my God. So me and Kevin were just talking about that he wants to come to New York in July and he's not sure what he's going to do. We will find things to do because I have always I see that Times Square is completely empty right now. I'm so tempted to just drive to the city, get out and just run down the street of Times Square because I've never done that. I've never seen it empty like that. It's always been like,
Oh yeah.
a crazy amount of people out there. So
well, and really when I was there last March, it was kind of empty. There were people, but it wasn't crazy busy like the other times I've been.
Right.
Even New Year's, I was so conflicted because I kind of wanted to do the whole Times Square New Year's ball drop. Mm-hmm. And then what we ended up doing was, of course, in front of the Knickerbocker. I decided I liked that better, even more so than the rooftop being in front of the hotel because you're kind of looking up at an angle versus if you're in Times Square, you're looking straight at the building.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I might as well lay on the ground.
I really don't think that, and that's hey Jen, I'm gonna call you later. I really don't, I've never cared too much about New Year's, you know why, but that's not gonna happen this year. that's not going to happen. There's no way in hell that that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's just the Halloween parade is going to be canceled. New Year's Eve is going to be canceled. Everything is just going to be the tree lighting in New York City. All of that stuff is just going to be canceled. And I'm really not looking forward to this upcoming holiday season, because what and how are we going to be able to celebrate what we're used to celebrating, even within our own
Right.
family?
Well, but I think we need to bring it back within ourselves. So not to sound cliche or to be on a Christian soapbox, but everybody says that Christmas has become, retail, and you've lost the religious point. Even without the religious point, let's take that out of it. We have to get used to a new way of life.
Yeah.
And we have to get used to doing things differently. We're trying to do that here in our own home, but also, and everybody else is trying to do it too. It's been awkward for me. So I'm considered essential in my job. So, and of course I'm self-employed. So I can make the choice of not work or work. If I work, I bank money. I'm going to work. Sorry.
Bank money. Yeah.
If I get sick, let's just hope I don't die, But it's one of those things where we're having to make those choices. And I think it should not take a pandemic to get to that point.
Right.
We should be able to make those choices. So I think that's what it's going to take this holiday season, because while I agree, I love going and seeing the tree. I love being in New York at Christmas. I mean, it's amazing.
It really is.
Twice. I've been there twice in the Christmas season. So I really love it. But we also have to realize that this is different times. We're also on the extreme end of it, because our government's not giving us the whole truth. Nobody else is giving us the whole truth. And I don't think they even know.
Right.
I think they're trying to tell us they know. And I think they're trying to tell us, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Don't freak out. But they don't know.
They don't know. This is totally uncharted territory. They really don't.
Like, what do you think about them trying to slowly open up the city again, especially in certain cities in the United States? They've let like the nail salons open up, and they've let, what do you think about that?
I feel okay, and I know this is gonna sound like really horrible and morbid, but who else to talk about something like that?
Right? There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel as if, in a way, we are just a bunch of lab rats being experimented on.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, all right, well, we don't really know what's going to happen, so let's open up certain things and let other people go and do their. Wow, look how skinny my arm is. Do you see that?
I see. Look at you.
I'm used to but anyway.
No, I hear you.
That's the push-ups on that. Anyway, I really do feel like they are gonna test. They're gonna test it out on us and see, like, whoever's dumb enough to go out and go back to the gyms or go back to the nail salons or go get their hair cut or do whatever they're gonna do. They're gonna test it on us to see, well, okay, what's the average rate of fatalities and sicknesses if we open up certain businesses? There's gonna be death. There's going to be fatalities from this. People getting sick regardless, because what the scariest thing is even if we were to say, well, we can't open up because or don't come to school or don't do certain things because you're sick. There are people who are carriers of this and they don't know they have it, and they're passing it on to other people because they've never had any symptoms. Yeah. So that one person can be in an entire nail salon of 15 people and infect 15 people, and then those people go home and they do it. Until
that would also apply to anything, though. I mean, this is no different than any other, and we've never labeled things pandemics, but it's no different.
Right.
And we have to, I subscribe to a really different, and y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but I truly believe in Darwinism. I believe. Yeah,
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stupid enough to put yourself in that situation,
absolutely,
go for it. Have at it. Yeah. Yes, I hate the mask. I hate it. I can't stand it. But I also know it's for our own good.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to risk it, then go for it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Kim, how do you feel? I mean, I'm getting a little nervous, right? Because I'm a school bus driver. there's no way that I can social distance on a bus. There's no way that I'm going to be able to, because eventually kids don't care. Eventually they're going to take the mask off. They're going to be touching each other. There's going to be things that are going on, because especially with the elementary school children, it's going to be very difficult to keep them within line like that and to get them to cooperate, because children don't understand it. You have to go back to a classroom, Kim, and you have to deal with being with, not only do you have to deal with the children in your school and the other people that are around you, but you also have to deal with, you know, the MTA getting on there, you know. How do you feel? I mean, I'd be scared out of my mind right now.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, as far as going back in August, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? Like, what are you doing to prepare for?
I haven't even thought that far. I'm just trying to get through this thing, like this school year. I'm just trying to get to June and figure out what's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, right now, the remote learning, I was talking to a friend about it. It's like, it's just a whole other ball game, and it's hard. I was told it's hard. You know, in the classroom, I can control the classroom so easily, you know?
Right.
And even though, like, I've had my supervisor observe, and she's like, no, it's fine. The classroom's fine. In my mind, I'm like, kids are still not doing what I want them to do. They're still, like, moving around, going to the bathroom, getting a snack. Like, they're not, like, this is not a
They're not paying attention, right? They're being children, basically.
It bothers me.
They're being children. That's how I feel about comedy. I mean, I have, actually May 15th, I will be doing, with John Brecka, I'll be doing a comedy show, and it'll be the first time that I'm actually doing my set in front of no one. You know, I'm used to doing it in front of a crowd.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Listen, I don't think that the comedy clubs are going to open up anytime soon. At least I hope that they do, but there's going to have to be a new normal as far as going forward, what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to, and I was actually talking to one of my friends today. It was really sad, but she told me, she's like, I can't go back to comedy because, you know, my husband is, you know, immune compromised, and I can't risk going out to an open bar or, you know, an open mic or something and bringing something home to him and him dying, because it's not worth it. And she's like, and I just don't have the time in my life to recover. And I felt so sad. And I said, you know what, listen, you shouldn't have to give up something that you love by, you know, doing something like this where you can actually go live, and other people who just can't come out need to be included. So we're going to have to, that's the way the comedy shows are going to have to be done. So I'm going to just
do it.
Plow through it like I always do, and figure out a way to do it and make it fun and have a good time and just not give a crap. And that's it.
Yeah.
I just feel like, what do you think? Would it be harder to perform where there's no audience that you can feed off the energy from?
That's what I wonder. Yeah, I wonder about that.
I feed off the, okay. And this is where being an introvert really works for me, because I don't get energy from people. I get energy from me. So even when I'm out there, I'm not even like 100% even aware of the crowd. I'm just like out there, I'm doing my set, I'm just doing it. I'm exerting my energy, I'm putting it out there, I'm saying the words I need to say, and that's what I'm doing. I don't feed off the energy off of the crowd. I don't
get engaged in your audience. So, and forgive me because I don't have a lot of experience with comedy outside of Margaret Cho, you know, and Margaret Cho, really. I mean, Margaret Cho is like my girl. So, but she feeds from her audience and she picks on her audience.
You could do, there are comics that do crowd work. I have seen quite a bit of comics that do that. You know, where they do work with the crowd and they do say things. That's really wonderful. But if you can, for right now, like I have one joke that I do where I'm directly speaking to the audience, where I'll say, hey, you know, if there's one thing that we're going to learn from this pandemic is an age-old question that we've been trying to answer. And that is, are you ready?
Yep.
How do you make a hoe a housewife? You're welcome. Yeah. Love the coronavirus. So, you know, it's just, I mean, there are ways of still engaging with your audience, but when you're people do it every day. That's the thing. People that have YouTube channels, people that make all these videos every day, they're not talking to anyone. They're talking to a camera. Even if I was in a television studio hosting a show, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to a camera. I'm literally sitting in a television studio when I do the Fresh Labor Bariatrics. I'm in a television studio. There's nobody there. I don't need, the cameras are stagnant. They don't move. They don't anything. I just have somebody in the control room. There's literally no one there. I'm not feeding off of the energy off of anybody. I know what I'm going to say. I'm giving you energy. So when I do the comedy shows, I'm giving you energy. I'm not, I don't bank on it because it doesn't matter. There could be a crowd that's completely dead that just doesn't laugh. They don't smile. They don't move. They're just looking at you. But I can't let that affect me. I have to just keep going.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So eventually they will learn and they will adapt and they will get it because if you love comedy that much, and I've met a lot of comics that, you know, listen, when I ask them that question on In Bed with Comics, how much do you love comedy? On a scale to 1 to 10, I'm always going to put the ones on my show that say they like comedy at a 10 because I know you want it and you're hungry and you're going to do it. You got to keep moving forward. This business, you cannot stop, have to keep going. So it is what it is.
Well, but you know, and that's anything that is self-started or if you're self-employed or if it is your own creation, you have to go against the grain. You have to be ready.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare and ready for anything. So you have to be ready for no audience.
Absolutely.
I have to be ready for more
anything.
Slow down. You know, Kim, you are a teacher, but you have other avenues that you could pursue if you needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've always, and she's got a book coming out.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited.
It's a 3-part series. I'm working on the second book now.
How long is the first one?
How long is the
I read it.
As far as what, like short story, novel?
Is it a short? Is it like how many pages? Is it a short story or?
Well, the editor that did it said it's more than a short story. So I don't know what that be considered, a novelette. I don't even know what's it. She's like, it's in between.
Right.
So,
I actually like, I mean, a novelette could be 200 pages. It could be 100, 200 pages.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like to take the pressure off of myself. And I read this book, I've been reading this book. It's a great book, but it's 300 pages long. And I could see why it's 300 pages long because her chapters are literally broken down to like 1 page. Like she makes it on 1 page and then she moves on. And I'm like, okay, like this works for me. So I like the style of, you know, because when I think like in terms of like writing an actual book, you don't want to take too much time. Like a chapter doesn't have to be 30, 40 pages. It could literally just be 1 page or 2 pages. You're just giving the readers information that they need, or you're making your point. You're getting in and you're getting out. You're talking about a situation, you're getting in and out. You actually have a lot of freedom. And I feel like people enjoy more reading shorter stories because it's more condensed. You get the point, and that's a certain talent that you have to have in order to be able to make that point very quickly.
Yeah.
Even with film, I mean, when you make films, sometimes the greatest films that I've seen have only been, you know, 3, 4, or 5 minutes, and we all know that a 3, 4, or 5 minute film can actually take quite a bit of time to make. But you know, it's
like,
right. Well, and you know the
editing could take even longer depending on who the director is. The director could be very picky. Trust me, you know, Kristen, we've been filled with.
I know. I'm gearing up. I love film more than life itself. I'm realizing now that a lot of the things that I would like to do would definitely be better served if I did them on my own. Because there are the resources out there to be able to do that. But I love documentary. Film is film, and then there's documentary. I'd actually hoped to film a documentary this summer about Long Island comedy, and unfortunately, well, I could probably still do it.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I'm not going to share it. I'll probably hit you up later.
Yeah.
I actually have an idea as to how to do this, and I kind of already started the wheels a turning with Embedded Comics, but I actually now have a better idea and a better focus on how I can get that documentary made anyway. So
well, if you want an editor, I would love to edit again.
Absolutely.
I want to get back into it. So
editing is so cool. I found that editing has changed, like since we've been in college, like when we had to sit there and deal with like, you know, Final Cut and deal with Mac and deal with all this crazy stuff. Like now I have like DaVinci, and it's easy. Like I can do it on my phone.
I know, it's so different.
Laughable.
Avid was like the most expensive editing software out there back in the day.
Never touched it. Never touched it. Never
It was
touched
so
it.
complicated, girl. It was, yeah, but
I don't bother with any of that stuff.
yeah, it was
I use DaVinci Resolve, and it's
yeah.
just one of the easiest programs I've ever. And there's a lot of different tutorials on YouTube that you can actually watch to learn how to use DaVinci and learn how to get it going. So
very cool.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and I will fucking find it.
I love it. It's just called Video Editor, done, and it's easy.
Right, and it's done. To put it out there, and listen, the brain is working. I am gonna get it. I am gonna get it done. The brain is working. I've got it. I'm gonna get it done.
Soon.
So, yeah. So has anyone been? I mean, I know you both are in a relationship.
What's going on?
Well, no. I was just, my wheels are turning because, I admire you for getting your book out and getting your book done, but I am I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask.
Oh, okay.
Years ago, I had wanted, well, I'm trying to deal with a family situation and trying to help that situation. Yeah. Give me just a second. But no, anyway, what I was saying is that I had years ago wanted to write a book.
Nice.
And I had wanted to do kind of a like a memoir, but not quite biographical. Okay. So, but I had coined it as, or coined the title, My Not So Gay Life. And I had wanted to write something about how I was so disconnected from the gay lifestyle. And I wanted to write under a pseudonym because, of course, anonymity is very important to me in that part of the life. Right. Because I don't want to be, even in my professional career, I've had title companies want me to be the gay escrow officer and cater to the gay realtors. And I'm going, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because that makes you feel like a separate, like you're separate from everybody else.
Right.
Like,
and that's not what I want to be.
I'm a human being that just happens to like suck cock. Like,
exactly. Very well.
Like, what's the problem? Like, I don't get that. Like, and I don't like that even like with women, like when they say like, oh, you're a woman, so you have to work with a certain type of woman, and oh, you should do this because you're a woman, and it's just like,
but we stereotype people, we stereotype people and we categorize people. So people think instantly, for me, because I'm a Southern white person, they think certain things, and some things are correct, but not all. And Kim, don't laugh at me.
I'm thinking of a few things.
I know, right?
I don't know. Secret doesn't want to know.
There are certain things people think, and even in those categories, people think that I'm very strictly this, and I'm going, no, I'm not strictly that. Right. There's certain things, there's certain ways to, for lack of a better way to put it, to pull yourself from that category or from that stereotype. Yeah. But I think we as humans and we as a race and a population do that. Just period. I mean, we in the South think that Yankees are gonna, be a certain way. The first time I went to New York, I thought when I got to, everybody told me that when I got to New York, that people are gonna be ugly to me. People are gonna be rude and they're gonna be nasty and they're gonna be.
We are.
And no, contrary, no, oh no. Now, granted, they might have wanted my money because I was staying on Park Avenue, but I found the most polite people, even more polite than in Texas or in Georgia.
Yeah, because they don't want to get stabbed.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to get stabbed. Like,
shit, I don't know who's got a gun or what.
I never thought like people from New York were aggressive or anything like that. I mean, I've lived in New York practically my entire life, but I mean, if I were to go to Texas, I know that I would definitely have some preconceived notions where I'd be like, all right.
Well, and it's even like Kim. When I first met Kim, I thought she was curt and short, and at first I thought she was inconsiderate. But when I came to realize, I really did. And we've talked about it because I thought she was just rude. I was like, what the frick?
Yeah, everybody thought it was rude. And I was like, that's me coming from New York when I was living there for college. So I came back from New York to Texas. And I remember I don't know if I should say his name, but the boss we were working for, kept saying, "Oh, well, you should have said that a little bit more nicer," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I just
like, what do you mean?
It was a disconnect.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a whole different attitude when you're
Yeah.
in New York and up north. Specifically, and that's kind of why I love going to New York, because it's like, okay, what do you want? Let's get it done. Let's get finished. You know, and in the South, and even the way they speak in the South is more like, how you doing? How's your day? And I'm going, oh my gosh, my day's fine, thank you. Oh, can we finish this transaction quickly because I gotta go.
Yeah, but okay. I'm shaking my head no, and I've got that nasty look.
Yeah.
What, Kim?
I actually feel like as I've gotten older, I would actually appreciate someone actually asking me how my day is and really listening to what I have to say about how I'm doing. Like, I think it would be nice to actually.
But I think you can do that. I think you can do that without it taking 30 minutes.
Right. Like, oh, I'm doing fine. But like, I kind of feel like even if, you know, I feel like most people say that they're doing fine and, oh, thank you. How are you? And it just becomes like one of those, you know, like, listen, I lived in Arizona for a little while. I loved living there.
Right.
But people were like that everything was very slow and, you know, how are you? And, you know, all this type of stuff. And, you know, I actually appreciate that. I appreciate people taking the time and the time investment, unlike the guys on Plenty of Fish that I'm dealing with right now.
Oh boy.
Oh girl, you need to get off of that.
There's got to be better apps than that.
There's not, because all right.
There's not. But let me tell you the better
solution. They're all on the same apps, though. It doesn't matter.
They are. Yeah,
everyone's like, oh, go on Match.com, go on all this stuff, and I'm like, why? It's
whatever. eHarmony, fuck eHarmony. No.
No, it's all the same guys. Like I've never felt like so questioned in my life about why I'm single. And I feel like a single woman is a threat to a man's masculinity because he doesn't have anything to really work for. He doesn't have anything. Like, they almost want you to be married. They want you to have a boyfriend because they want to feel like, oh, I've won something. Oh, I'm going to take this girl away from him. Or I don't have anything to offer this woman, so I'm just going to.
That's it.
You know,
or they want you to be the damsel in distress.
Huh?
They want you to be the damsel in distress. They want you to be the girl that they're going to save, which, you know, I get, because in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and the, you know, 1400s, you had to save the girl. So, you know, and I get it. I was taught the 50s style of dating, which made it very hard for me to date. I was taught that the man takes care of the woman or the other person. So being such a dominant personality, I felt like I had to take care of the other person, regardless of their success level, regardless of, you know, whatever. It didn't matter. But
but it was that for a woman, but you didn't start out dating women.
No,
is that the same for men?
Right. It's the same for a man, right?
So you feel the need
I still took my 50s style upbringing into my same-sex relationships. I still stayed the same. I kept my morals and values. Let's face it, I was a virgin at 24. And I gave it to the person I thought I would always be with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You think I'm crazy.
But I was like,
I didn't sample. No, I never knew. I never knew any of it. And I even, you know, and even with the last few, I waited till I knew. And I waited till there was a connection. I waited till something happened. I waited till I knew that they were going to be around. Thank God with that last one, I didn't. Whew.
Thank blessed Lord Jesus.
I know.
I'm gonna bring out my Southern Baptist. Thank the Lord you didn't.
Yes. I know. Girl, please. I was rubbing Buddha's belly. I was thinking Allah and everybody else.
Right here. Thank the Lord. Thank you.
Girl, please. I was lighting candles to Methuselah. What you talking? No.
I think I'm gonna be a success virgin, and I think that going forward in my dating life, I'm gonna try a little bit of an experiment. I am going to not tell guys, because they ask me, like, I had this guy like literally hitting me up every day asking me all these questions. And he was asking me like, oh, well, if you're a stand-up comic and you're around all these guys, like, oh, none of them date you, none of them hit on you. And I'm like, that's a business. I am not the type of female that's going to sleep with a guy for a spot on a show. I am not going to show my tits all over the place and talk, all this game to try to get, whatever guys to pay attention to me. I am not a thirsty hoe. I am not that type of girl. Okay. I am not going to sleep with people that I have to perform with. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. It's not going to happen. I know that it happens, and that's fine if you want to do that. But that answer wasn't good enough for him. Like, he really was just trying to get at me, and he goes, "Oh, well, you must be a lesbian." And I'm like, but I'm not. Like, I'm not a lesbian. Like, just because I'm not sleeping with other dudes to get a spot on their show or to do whatever it is, or I'm going out to open mic, like sucking dick in the bathroom. Like, I'm just not doing that. Like, that's just not me. So I think going forward is what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give guys as much information about me, and just let them
dig their own hole.
Find out on their own. Like, I don't know how to be I don't know how to be a basic bitch though. I don't know how to be basic. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how to just be, oh, okay, I'm a girl that needs my bills paid. Oh, okay, I'm a girl that oh, I need you to carry this upstairs for me. I don't know how to be basic. I don't know how to be, like, I don't want to talk about the fact that, like,
stress. That's what it is.
Maybe I don't know how to play the damsel in distress. I don't know how to do that, because I kind of feel like, but if I don't let that down a little bit, maybe maybe I'll have more success, but I don't know how to do that. Like, how am I supposed to, am I supposed to play stupid? Am I supposed to dumb myself down? No. Am I supposed to ask him for money? But then they look at you a certain way. Like, if I don't have any money to do my nails, honey, trust and believe, I went to nail school. I know how to do it. I worked in hair salons for over 10 years. I can do my own hair. I can do my own makeup. I can do whatever, but that's just, I'm just resourceful, and I really
let me tell you what I learned, and I think, Kim, you and I talked about this too. So when I tell people that I'm a real estate broker, they make a lot of assumptions.
Right.
So, and before, and let me disclaim, this is before Jamie. So this is before August of last year. I would not bring anybody to my house.
Right.
I would not bring them to my house. I live in I'm not going to be a conceited little bitch, but I live in a very nice home and in a very nice neighborhood. But I would not bring anybody here. I would not let them, because the instant they saw where I lived, oh, let's get married. Let's do this. No. Mm-mm.
You're so lucky. I wish that I had a guy that was like, wow, here's a hardworking girl that busts her ass, that works 2 jobs, that manages everything else that she does, creatively.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you, because no, you don't. You don't want somebody to look at that and want you immediately, because they want the wrong thing. These people wanted their bills paid. They wanted their meals bought. They wanted everything else. They wanted everything they could get. Jamie was hooked on me before he ever saw my house.
Right.
He never came here. Right. Before he was totally into me. He was into me. He didn't see where I lived until December?
Mm-hmm. I don't let anyone in my house.
For how long before December? So people know.
So 3 months.
3 months. I don't let anyone in my house.
Yeah.
My home is my sanctuary, and that's it. I'm not letting anyone in my house.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Don't let them see your resources. It's like with the Parasite, with the whole trip to New York, I made the mistake there because I paid for everything. I got it ready. It was all, let's go, let's have fun, but that's also, it is my fault, but it's also.
My sister's watching.
Oh, cool. Hi, Sissy. But it's also, I think it's because it's my fault, but it's also my blessing, because on the one hand, I don't realize the value of money sometimes, because money doesn't matter to me. I don't conceive it as.
Don't say that. Take that back. Money does matter to you. Don't put that out there in the universe.
Money does matter. Money does matter.
It does matter.
I want to make 6 figures.
I hear you, because when I meet a guy,
but it's not what I value.
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like, if I met a guy that didn't have as money like that, all right, he's just out there, he's working, he's doing his thing, he's doing whatever. fine. I'm the type of girl, I like the 50-50 type of relationship.
Yes, exactly.
I will pay for my own movie ticket. I will pay for my own meal. I'm not going to sit there and order an expensive $300 bottle of wine. But when it's your birthday or when it's a holiday, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to pay for it. And I need a guy that's going to actually like respect the fact that I will do that for you.
Yes.
And it's not meant to emasculate you. It's because you're my king. You're my, you're my man. I'm going to do whatever I can do for you. But there's going to be times when all I have to offer you is a home cooked meal and a movie on the couch. Like, I don't understand that. Like, a relationship is not maintained by all the fancy restaurants that you go to, all the fancy gifts that you get. Like, even the other day, Kim, you were in the park with your man playing a game in Central Park, having a great ass freaking time. Like, but that's a real adult ass relationship where you guys are spending time with each other and doing things with each other, because
I thought that was so cute. Oh, that was
cute. I'll take that over a fancy restaurant any day. Yes, you can take me to a pizzeria and we can get a nice Italian dinner, and we can come home and we can sit on the couch, we can watch a movie, we can cuddle, we can have fun. Yeah. I need to vibe with this. I don't need to vibe with this. That doesn't mean anything to me, because money can be, if anybody's learning that lesson right now, money can be taken away from you. I will when you don't have money, I got your back. No problem.
Big moment to say that people have lost their jobs. People have, they have to find other alternatives to keep the relationship going, right?
Right. Because it's not just about sex. It's not just about, and if your relationship is just solely based on sex, or just solely based on he's taking you out for all these fancy stuff and he's buying, where she's, whatever it is, and now you can't do that, and now you're kind of sitting at each other like looking like, well, where is this going? What is this doing? Mm-hmm. You have to find a way to keep that spark alive. And if you don't have that, especially now, if you're living with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're kind of in the house, it's kind of like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do with you now? Yeah, you're not taking me out to fancy places. You're not doing all this stuff. Listen, life is short. And I'm telling you this, and I know this from experience because I've seen it within my own family. Mm-hmm. You're on your fucking deathbed and you're dying and your body is literally giving out and you're falling apart and you look like shit and you just awful and you're going to die. You want the person next to you that's going to love you. The person that's going to stop their life because they can, stand by your side and be there with you every step of the way until you're not here. If you don't have that, you've got nothing and you will die alone. I'm telling you. So for me, at this stage of my life, I am not looking for a man that's going to buy me a house. I'm not looking for a man. I want a man, an old school value man that's 50-50, that's going to build with me. Build something with me. Oh, bring it back to the old school. Everybody that I know that's been successfully married, because I was just talking to somebody the other day, when they started, they had nothing, but they didn't know they had nothing. They worked together. They built something. Right. They built it up. Together. You can be just happy having nothing. I mean, that's like the American way. All these immigrants came over here with nothing, $1 and a dream, and they built it all up. And they kept the one beside them that they loved. But the problem with these men today, I feel, and I'm not blaming men. I don't hate men. I'm not blaming men. I just feel like we're not taught how to be respectful of a woman and how to be, okay, I found the girl that I'm looking for and I'm going to stay with this girl. Right. But there's so many other girls out there that, okay, I got this one girl to like me, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to this other girl, and I'm just going to, and then maybe I'll come back to this girl.
But what was it in one of the Madea movies? They talked about the 80-20 rule.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Because I have no idea. I'm so lost.
Yeah, well, you're just too white. So
I am too white. I have not got
But there's, you got your 80% girl and you go cheat somebody, get your 20%.
Right.
And then when you're discovered, you're stuck with your 20. You had everything.
You can keep that 20%.
That's right.
You can, and you know what I'm talking about, Kim. You can keep that 20%. As a matter of fact, you can keep that 10% because you gave up a 100. You gave up 100 for 10%. But you can sleep with that.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I have learned.
That's right.
What I've learned over the years, and I think the reason that I take this. So okay, let me pull us off of this for a second and be a little bit self-centered. So I have a mantra, and I've tattooed it on my arm. So my mantra is "Cuidado con mi corazón, porque cuidando con tuyo."
You speak my language, Papi.
Right. So, and for those of you who don't speak Spanish, so be careful with my heart because I am careful with yours. So I take this into my personal life, my business relationships, everything. So, and while business is not your heart, it is. So I'm very careful. I'm very cautious. For instance, tomorrow I'm meeting with a couple. They just had a newborn. Newborn's in NICU.
Oh.
Yeah. And so when I called the husband, I called today to confirm the appointment for tomorrow. He says, I'm in the hospital with my baby. And at the moment I was just kind of like, okay, your wife, what's going on? And then I call it, and I'm going, newborn? And he says, yeah. So newborn in NICU, newborn's not going to be home tomorrow. So he and his wife are meeting me at the house in the morning.
Right.
Hopefully, if documents come through. So, but then I told him when we disconnected the call, I said, look, give me a text later. Let me know if things are okay and where you want to meet. Because if we meet at home, we'll meet there. If you want to meet closer to the hospital, we'll meet there. Whatever has to happen. So, but my point being that I always take and I try to see the people that I'm dealing with as my own.
Yeah.
As myself.
Yeah.
And that's why I take my relationships too. So, and that's what I told Jamie when we started dating. That's what I told the parasite when we started dating. Parasite abused it. Fine. Screw him.
Yeah.
But you have to, and I do this with friends too. I try to consider my friends and the relationship, and I don't want to hurt them. And I think that's what we have to get back to. And while I wrote my mantra in Spanish, it goes back to the 50s lifestyle. It's, you gave me, for dating, for instance, you've given me the honor of your attention and your time. Let me respect that.
Respect it, 100%.
That's the thing.
Don't act like nothing.
And that's what I think this coronavirus is giving to us again. And I hope people take that from this, is that we have to respect one another. We've got to respect what's going on, regardless of what's happening. And I'm going through this in my own family, the respect issue. Respect what has happened, respect where we've been, respect who we are.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I hate to bring it to a close, but we're Kim,
you're a party pooper.
Well, I'm the timekeeper, so on track.
I think we've been talking for almost an hour, but yeah. I mean, I definitely think that the respect thing is one thing, and I don't think that it's an intentional thing. I just kind of feel like, for me, I don't want to dim my light. I don't want to shit where I eat.
Agreed.
I don't want anyone getting it in my path of it, but like somebody pointed out to me, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I know that somewhere out there over the rainbow, there is definitely somebody out there that will respect everything that I do. But I think that going forward, I'm just going to try to keep things to myself a little bit more and just, let them want to find out, be a little bit more mysterious and let them want to find out about,
Mysterious. Mystery is a good key word.
Yeah. Mystery.
Keep something held back.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I just let everybody know what's going on about me, everything that's going on. And I kind of feel like I need to dial back a little bit because I know that I could be a little overwhelming with everything that I do. And when people can't pinpoint you as to what you are and what you do, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're a school bus driver, you are a filmmaker, you're a writer, you're a comedian, you're a holistic nutritionist, you're all these things. And it's like, yes, I am all these things, but I still have time to love you. So.
Right. And with that, thank you for everyone being on the show. As always, I'm Black and Rowdy.
And I'm KSilyDD. And who are you?
I don't know who the hell I am.
Daddy. everybody on whatever comes to mind. We will be back next
There you go.
For you, didn't we?
I called him Baby Daddy. I forget what he calls himself. Baby Daddy.
Baby Daddy?
Baby Daddy. KSilyDD, Black and Rowdy, and Baby Daddy has
There
a
you go.
nice flow to it on whatever comes
Bring it on.
Oh, thank you everybody out there for watching the show.
Bye guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye everybody for watching. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Stay on. Don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Let me end it.